Norwich, Connecticut, and I would like to speak to my position as the president of the Connecticut Society of CPAs. We're 6,000 CPAs in the state. We have all different ideas on budget cuts and additional taxes, and I won't speak to that, but we would like to thank you for what we believe are giant steps forward for the better financial condition of the state of Connecticut that you've taken in this budget. That generally accepted accounting principles, not using debt to cover operating expenses, committing to fully fund the pensions, not shifting the burden to cities and towns, and there are a lot of more steps that are needed. And for everybody here, nobody wants to pay more in taxes, and nobody wants to have their services cut. But right now, what we've done is we've mortgaged our children and our grandchildren's future over the past decades. And if you look at our financial condition, we are about the worst in the country. That it's not going to get better when the economy gets better. There's no way that the state can sustain this. So thank you for making the tough decision.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello.
Governor Malloy, thank you for being here. My name is Al Gillis, Town Group. My question to you is, with the major tax loopholes in the state, the rich, the top 1% in this state are paying a much lower tax rate than I am. Large corporations like Bank of America, who, by the way, have 500 employees who are on the husband program, and everyone in this room is subsidizing, but pay no state tax. We'd like to know if you're going to close those loopholes.
You know, we are closing a number of loopholes. And we're also benchmarking against what other states do. For instance, you said they pay a much higher percentage. If you're talking about a rate, I mean a much lower percentage. If you're talking about a rate, they pay a much higher rate. They actually pay a lower percentage of their total wealth. That's true. And not something that I'm, particularly happy about, but that's the tax structure in the United States. All 50 states, that plays itself out. But if you're talking about highest earners in the state, between what we're doing in this rate increase and what was done 19 months ago, they're actually seeing the largest percentage increase at 36%. So, and, by the way, in going from 3 brackets to 8 brackets, we're actually taxing at a higher rate lower income. So where they used to only start to pay a higher rate at $1 million, they'll actually start to pay a higher rate in each one of the brackets. But what I also have said, and I said this during the campaign, for Connecticut to succeed, we have to maintain a substantial tax advantage over New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. Now, you may disagree with me about that, and I understand that. But I know that we're a high-priced destination. We have the highest energy costs in the United States. We've lost jobs for 22 years. I am calculating that if we even matched overall the same tax structure as the 4 states that we compete most directly with, we will be the loser. It is a balancing act. And I may not have the right balance, and that's why we have a legislative process. And I understand exactly what you're saying, but you should understand what my thought process is. And you don't have to agree with me. I understand it. But I have said from day one and throughout the election that we had to maintain a tax advantage. And by the way, in my part of the state, I see that. We used to attract a lot of jobs out of New York, and it's dried up. Now, maybe the spigot comes back on as the economy turns around. But if we don't get those replacement jobs in Fairfield County, a county that pays disproportionately in income tax, if they don't continue the process of moving in as others move out, we're in big trouble. So I want a competitive advantage to build our economy, to have those kind of high-wage earners paying a lot of money, albeit a smaller percentage.